of my information has already been answered, but I am here speaking about sleeping disorders, eating disorders, substance abuse, worsening chronic conditions, anxiety and depression, of course. And there are aspects of the COVID-19 pandemic that relate directly and influence directly mental illnesses like isolation and loneliness, job loss, the social distancing, access, as Sue was expressing, to mental health services. So I'm going to try to be as brief as possible, but give you a little bit of information. Older adults, as Margarita was saying, are reporting negative mental health impacts, an increase since March. Women with children under the age of 18 are more likely to report negative mental health impacts than male counterparts. Job loss is associated with an increase in depression, anxiety, distress, low self-esteem, and unfortunately may lead to higher rates of substance abuse, as Sue was expressing, and suicidal ideations and attempts. All of this has been happening, and I wish I could bring more encouraging information. And Iman gave us a very beautiful set of skills, as well as all of you have. Adolescents have increased their number or reports of a major depressed suicide in the past year, and drug overdoses, as well as suicide. During these unprecedented times, all of what I have been speaking has been exacerbated, unfortunately. So epidemics have shown to induce general stress according to the population. And it is important for us as mental health care professionals to share as much as we can the positive side of this reality, because what I'm speaking right now is true, is real, but it's part of the reality. We also have a lot of initiatives that are working for the better, okay? So the COVID-19 pandemic has led as well for millions of job losses, and many countries are declaring economic recession. Some considerations that the World Health Organization has done is incorporating mental health in the national, in different countries, in the national COVID-19 responses, so that increases mental health care throughout telecommunications or online services. And that is an improvement, but yet we have to think about the many, many people that do not have access to internet, okay? Of course, we have had an increasing amount of social media and social networks that are delivering positive information about COVID-19. So we have to keep in mind for people with mental health illnesses to assess them and direct them to the right information instead of feeling overloaded with negative information. Unfortunately, the pandemic is very likely to have long and low and short term implications on mental health patients. For example, imagine a person with health anxiety. It's like the worst case scenario come true. So handling mental health patients, it is delicate, it's very important, and it requires all of us to be upfront and firsthand available, okay? Psychological distress, and as I forgot, give me 1 second, Ingrida, as Ingrida was expressing to us, trauma unfortunately can have a lasting for almost 3 years in some occasions, and of course depending on how much help and processing time the patient has. Okay, Fortunately, emotional support hotlines are all over, and it is imperative that us in our countries and in our communities have that information available to share. So if you have a phone, at least you can contact a person throughout the phone, or someone within your small community and your small range can help others with mental care and mental health issues and clinical patients. One of the main problems that have been occurring as well is the availability to medication, both because of the loss of incomes, and medications, if not by an insurance policy, are very, very expensive, or the actual capability of going to therapy and going to mental health professional control. Okay. Many people are skipping and delaying these processes because of their condition, their economical condition, and that has led to their mental situation, to an emotional one, to worsen. In some areas, there is a lack of internet or lack of networking options. So this limits the idea of resources that the person with the mental condition has, and with their families. So it's really, really important to assess that and provide as much as we can. Of course, mental health professionals are living the burnout syndrome as well. And I am trying to wrap up with Iman's intervention of taking care of ourselves and our emotions. And that is my answer for this question, but I really want to highlight the realization of nostalgia therapy done by Dina. Thank you very much. Ingrida, when she spoke about post-traumatic stress and trauma, because sometimes when you're in a different part of the country, you can listen to your particular news and not necessarily relate, as Sue was saying, about something that is so broad that involves us all. So keeping perspective of what is going on in a positive way, but also realistic throughout the world, is extremely, extremely important. And I appreciate all of you in your interventions. If you want to activate your microphones if you have a question or something that